Hello there and welcome back to The End is Nigh. This time for the finale. It's been a little bit since I've uploaded any of these and there's a reason for that. Let's just get right into things. It'll make it easy to explain. So one thing I've done since last time is I played through a whole bunch of these video game cartridges and picked up a total of 36 bonus tumors. 36. Now, why did I do that, you ask? Well, let's head to the future. Oh, that's not how you do the map. Again, I always get the arrow mixed up with the actual ash icon, which is how you move about the world map. Not the cleverest design, that. So, heading on over to Nevermore, look at how many lives we have, because of course the lives mechanic is still a thing. 36. Yes, in order to have any sort of lives for this final world here, and it's a fairly difficult one, you need to have done those bonus video game cartridges. Turns out they're not quite so bonus after all. And if you don't do them, then you have exactly 0 lives for this sequence. And initially, I didn't realize that because the game doesn't exactly make that obvious. It doesn't really imply a connection between the video game cartridges and this final stage at all. Or if it did, I just completely missed it. Maybe there's some random NPC somewhere who tells you that, but either I forgot about it completely because the dialogue is so bland and bad, or I just never met them. Or the game just doesn't really hint at that at all, and just expects you to try the video game cartridges. So of course, if you choose not to do that like I did, which I did in the interest of saving time, you end up just making things a lot more difficult for yourself. So that's one issue with this whole lives thing. Another issue is the fact that having lives in a game like this isn't really all that satisfying in the first place. And having the number of your lives be so limited because you can only get 1 per each of those achievements, which are gotten either for beating the cartridge, beating it without continues, or collecting all the collectible rings, depending on which cartridge you're talking about. And even if you end up picking up them all, I went for the easiest ones. There are a bunch of way harder ones you can do in the more difficult cartridges. Even with the ones I got, I only have 36 lives, and if you end up getting them all, that ends up being around, I think 52 or something like that. A pretty small number, to be sure. And for what is technically the final stage of the game, that ends up creating 2 design issues. One, the fact that they do end up having to make this world a fair bit easier than the previous ones, because if it's roughly equal in difficulty, then you're going to end up losing all those lives over and over, and you would be a bit too frustrated even for this genre, even by its standards. And what do you know, the difficulty of this stage I would call overall easier, at least for these first few screens. We'll find out exactly how difficult it gets as it goes along. This was the final screen I made it to, by the way, when I tried to get through here with 0 lives. This is where the difficulty really started ramping up, and where my lack of lives really started to catch up to me. This challenge right here is fairly precise, and I may lose a life right here because I cannot outrun this tumor. Okay, I made it. This is a fairly tricky bit of platforming. You have to go very quickly, you have to be very precise, and you can't afford to take any time either because then those spikes will rise up, and then you're just kind of screwed. I can't believe I did that in pretty much one go. That was really impressive. Good job, me. Alright, super cannon, tumors at the bottom, and the chasey tumors. That's going to be difficult to deal with. Oh, and the slow chases. They come after you no matter how far away you are. In fact, that one looks like it's going to stay in that bottom left corner, which is going to be a huge pain in the ass. Makes what would have been a somewhat easy jump all the more difficult. Okay, so I gotta grab the cubes, do it quickly enough that the cannon doesn't kill me, and then somehow juke my way to the exit Earth. But yeah, even this challenge, even though it immediately killed me, it's still not all that bad compared to the challenges in the immediate world. And again, that's something they have to purposely decide on in order to make it doable if you don't have a whole bunch of lives. So it results in yet another weird, sudden change in the difficulty of this game. A change that would not have occurred if they had gotten rid of this lives mechanic, Or at least giving you more lives. Oh, I almost made that. I put just a little bit too much oomph in my jump. I'll tell you, I'm not exactly sure how long this world is. I'm assuming it's 20 screens. I would hope that it's not more, and I wouldn't even dare to hope that it's less. In which case, I think I might be hemorrhaging tumors a bit too quickly here. That said, even if I do end up game overing and losing all my lives and having to start back at the start, it shouldn't be too bad. It wasn't so bad getting up to here. I don't see myself spending as much time as I did previously just to get up to screen 7. I can see myself probably doing this in under an hour, assuming the difficulty doesn't immediately spike up at some point, which is always a possibility. Just see if I can get through this screen though for the moment. That already seems like a fairly difficult goal. But yeah, the first 7 or so screens are pretty tepid challenges. And that just makes the start of this more busy work than anything. It's not actually all that fulfilling. You know what's also not fulfilling? Having tumors come right after you at the start of the screen. They don't even let you get the lay of the land, and that's an issue I brought up earlier as well. It's just... yeah, the design of this final... of course, that's a speed cannon. The design of this final area just isn't all that great, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I really wish I could just sit here peacefully without the mother, that's what it's called, I just remembered, coming after me. As it is, I have to keep going back and forth between these screens to get a good look at it. So again, 2 cubes, tumors all around, and I have to deal with a cannon on each side. That's... I'm gonna have to go fast, that's for sure. Oh, I didn't think I would get hit there if I was grabbing the ledge. I guess not. I might be able to get that 1 cube. Oh, this one actually seems to have a bit of a break in its firing pattern, or is that just because I go behind the wall? Okay, it's just because of the cover. Fair enough. Oh, I almost actually managed to grab the cube. I didn't go far enough to the right, though. I was too scared of the cannon firing at me. Like so. I might have to go back up after picking that first cube. Let's try that out. Hey, it works. Not so bad. And actually, I can get the lay of the land right here. Still, no reason for them not to have made it so that you could have done it from the start of the screen. That's just bad design that they don't let you do that. Okay, I forgot it had a pinpoint to me right there. I missed that hole in the wall. Where the blobs can see it all. So I'm gonna want to jump up to that ledge, rock it over, quickly grab the cube, and then go back over the top. Because if I try and take that bottom path, the cannon's going to end up hitting me. The issue is, of course, the mother on the upper left that is going to necessitate that I go very quickly before it ends up covering too much of the screen real estate. Okay, do or die time. I almost did it, but I instead died. Not the best choice. Yeah, even if I hadn't died to that, the cannon there, I still would have failed it simply because I didn't end up grabbing the cube. A similar issue to when I first tried grabbing the right one. Okay, I think if I'm on the leftmost edge of that leftmost middle floating block, I'm safe from the cannon. That should give me about 1 second to 2 seconds worth of waiting time before Mother ends up coming after me. Let's see if that's the case. That'll give me a bit of time to reconsider my options on the fly. No, Yeah, I went too far over to the right, but I think even if I was on the leftmost portion, it still might be able to hit me. It's a bit hard to tell with the hitboxes in this game. It feels like the cannon bullets are slightly larger than the sprites appear, although that could just be me. And at this point, I'm just making dumb mistakes and dying to dumb shit that I shouldn't be. So perhaps I will end up spending more than an hour here. At any rate, I'm definitely not going to make it through on this first run. Not with 2 lives left. But let's see if I can at least get to Nevermore 10 before I keel over for good. Oh, almost. I should have gone over to the right, grabbed that ledge. That would have reset the mother, and it would have given me a clear shot for the exit. I went just a little bit too fast for my own good. I think I have an idea of exactly what I needed to do now. I know it both in theory and the exact sequence of movements. Now I just have to pull it off. See, this gives me a bit of break time. Now, the question is, do I hop over that one, what do you call that Tetris block? The four-piece one that is such a pain to deal with in any Tetris game. Is that an S? No, it's a Z. Wow, I don't even know my letters. That's how much this game is neutering my brain. Yeah, I'm not sure if I should go over it or under it. I think I might need to go under it to avoid the cannon. Mother shouldn't be able to come after me that quickly. But the cannon was able to get to me because I jumped up in the air. Again, I just find the bullets difficult to deal with. Granted, it doesn't help that I haven't played this game, aside from getting the cartridge lives, in like a week, so I'm not used to dealing with all of the mechanics again. I'll see you when I get back to that point. I don't even think I'm gonna do the speed up thing. I don't think these reruns through are worth it. Simply because it's something I've already gone through. Alright, made it back here with 16 attempts. Let's see if I can do it. Alright, so I'm trying to think of how best to avoid the cannon. Coming from the left, going around that long, circuitous route definitely wouldn't work because I'd be too close to the cannon on the left. It would be able to strike me before I could get down. I have to come from this way. The question is, with what timing and what positioning do I do so to actually make it through here? Let me, see if I can't get a little bit closer. Yeah, I wanted to grab onto that ledge right there. Unfortunately, it seems I can't jump to there from the ledge I was currently on. It looks like I should have been able to make it, but I was probably just like a single pixel off. It was very close, which was why I thought I could make it in the first place. Starting from there would definitely help a lot with actually making it past the cannon. I can't wait on that Z block because Mother's gonna come after me. Just go for it. Alright, doing short hops is what saved me, because yeah, it was bullets that picked me out of the air. And thus doing shorter hops, I was less far in the air, and so I was able to make it more easily. Alright, this is a speed challenge. How did I do that so easily the first time? Because I need to make it to the top of this ledge. I guess I have to jump directly onto there from the lower ledge, but I can't seem to do that. I just did it on reflex the first time, and now I'm not sure how to repeat it. I guess I just need to be super precise to avoid Mother. Oh, I did it that time again. I gotta figure out that precise timing. That's the only way I'm gonna be able to... There we go. Reliably make it past it. Okay, not so bad. 4 cubes. A chasing thing. I don't know if those blocks are gonna stop moving if I stand on them. Oh, that's a dick move. Look at that chaser right there at the bottom. He comes up over the title and is so blended in with everything else that I nearly didn't notice him. That would have been a free death for the game. Yeah, of course it starts moving. I figured as much. That's going to make this surprisingly difficult. I have to contend with so much here. The slow, lazy chases, Mother coming after me, almost unavoidably in some instances. The fact that the blocks themselves move. So much Mother around that it's difficult to reset her once she starts moving, which is a pain. Oh, I think this is one of those challenges that's just going to take a whole bunch of attempts, which I don't exactly have the lives for. Another negative aspect of this whole limited life scenario, it removes a useful tool from your arsenal, just being able to throw yourself headlong at any challenge until you just manage to figure out the way to do it. Here you have to consider every single attempt, since every death is getting you one step closer to having to repeat the entire challenge. Oh boy. I think I'm gonna need to drop down from the left side if I want to pick up that leftmost cube. Okay. Shit, no, I don't want to get rid of the cubes. No, I could have made it through if I had jumped through. But now I have no choice but to reset the screen. Damn it. I was a bit too cowardly and it cost me an attempt. That's honestly okay though. I'm unlikely to actually clear Nevermore on this attempt. And if I had made it through with that victory, I really wouldn't have understood the challenge as well, because I was kind of doing things by the seat of my pants, so to speak. I didn't really have the proper procedure firmly ironed in my mind. And I'm gonna need that if I want to get through this shit reliably. Oh yeah, talk about precision. Oh no, come on, really? Oh, I just barely overshot the platform. That is the worst. Okay. Yeah, no, now I'm just making dumb mistakes. Probably not gonna make it to the next screen on this attempt. You never know though. I could get a little bit lucky. Oh, almost managed to recover. Not quite. Alright, last attempt. Oh no, not gonna make it here. Not with Mother coming after me. If only this room was like 10 to 20% bigger, this would be a lot easier. I'd have a lot more room to prevent Mother's growth. I'm sure they spent a lot of time figuring out exactly how small they needed to make the room to make this as dickish as possible. Well, oh god. Even if I make it here with all 36 lives, this is gonna be one heck of a challenge to get through. Yeah. Oh, I'm not a fan of water movement in this game. It's probably the least satisfying thing. It just doesn't feel like you have as much control over your momentum as you do when you're in the air. At least the water is not acidic, but I'm sure that's gonna show up soon enough anyway, so should probably hold my words. You can tell I'm improving because I made it here with 22 lives this time. That is one of the few good qualities I'll begrudgingly give the game, having this style of design. It makes actually surpassing these challenges all the more satisfying. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't say they're any significantly more satisfying than the previous challenges, because even though it's a lot more work, that's only because you have to go through so much each time you end up game overing. You get less few quick reattempts. So it's more difficult, it's more challenging, and it's more satisfying, but it ends up being an artificial feeling difficult. Difficulty because you're just given less attempts rather than the challenge itself actually being difficult. Again, I don't see why they couldn't have placed Mother far enough away to actually give me a good view of the surrounding environs. That's really necessary in a puzzle like this where you have to figure out exactly which of these blocks you want to keep around in order to actually successfully proceed through here. Not being able to take the time to smell the roses, as gross and tumoury as they are, just makes this challenge way more needlessly difficult. I think I have a general idea though. Oh, you jerk! You came just quickly enough to actually prevent me from getting that cube. That's just gonna be a positioning or a speed thing. Speed it is. Okay, well I can wait here at least. This actually doesn't look so bad. Looks easier than the previous screen. And yes, if I check the map, I do realize there's apparently a secret icon there. I've been trying to keep my eyes peeled, but I haven't seen anywhere that looked too suspicious. and I'm kind of focusing on getting through this stage. I actually checked the Steam discussion page and a few guides to see if there were any non-spoilery hints for the secret for this world, but I couldn't find hide nor hair of anything like that. I'm not sure if that's me lacking in Google Foo skills, or if maybe that's not a secret at all, or at least not in the normal sense. Maybe whatever that is, I'll end up just picking it up automatically as I go through here. That'd be nice. So I'm not too worried about missing a secret. I mean, maybe I'll go back for it if there is a secret that I missed, but I'll probably just take whatever ending I end up getting. Oh yeah! Wow, there's a cartridge right there. I'm at the end, I guess. I have a decent number of attempts. But yeah, this world never really got all that difficult, and again, as I said, it kind of never could, because if so, that would just conflict so horribly with the limited lives thing, even more so than it does just by default. And that's just kind of bad design. Okay, bye.
Yeah, the only thing I remember from before, the end, was my right thumb. One day I slammed it in my car door and it half tore the nail off my thumb. It hurt like a bitch. Over time, like a week or so later, this little new nail started to grow underneath, and I was pushing the old nail out. It was just like hanging off. Like, it was, I keep getting caught on my clothes, and I'd roll over when I was sleeping on it. It would hurt, and I just got aggravated and sick of it. And one day I just tore the nail off, and there's this little tiny shriveled thumbnail underneath, all gnarled and disgusting. I was wondering, was it ever going to grow back right? Was my thumb ever going to look normal again? Or was this just going to be my thumb now for the rest of my life? Yeah, I was picking at it when the bombs fell.
Okay, well these credits seem like they're gonna be identical to the previous ones. The background is a bit different, but the credits look to be the exact same. Can I just say that I'm not a fan of that music credit there? Ridiculon and a whole bunch of old dead dudes. Like, you're not even gonna credit all the people whose work you stole? Like, not to knock on Ridiculon, his remixes are good, but if you're using remixes of already pre-existing music, even if it's public domain, you should really give proper credit where it's due. And not make a stupid joke. So that seems to be it. I mean, I still have the Iron Carts and the Glitch cartridges to go through, as well as that one final cartridge from Nevermore. I don't know, maybe I'll end up doing that at some point, but since I already did the other cartridges off-screen, I'm not sure I'm gonna bother. If you're really that curious about what they're like, and you shouldn't be, they're just retro pixelized versions of the main worlds as I showed off with that one run of the first regular cartridge. But if you're really that curious, you can either pick up the game yourself if this sort of game is your style, although I would recommend waiting until a sale, or you could check out someone else's playthrough. There are plenty of people playing this on YouTube. I'm sure there's at least one other person who's not super rage-induced like me. Yeah, I gotta say, as the final world, that was super disappointing. Again, it's the issue of the overall difficulty of each of the challenges being necessary to be lesser than the previous worlds in order to make up for the fact that you have limited lives. And that results in a world that is at once more frustrating because of that limited lives mechanic, and honestly less fulfilling to complete because it's not nearly as challenging. It also didn't really introduce any new mechanics or anything either, which was kind of a disappointment.